Imagine having a big piece of paper in front of you. This paper represents your time space. On this paper, you can draw different activities in different parts. For example, you can draw yourself eating breakfast in one corner and playing outside in another corner. In our usual understanding of time, we think of events happening one after another in a linear fashion. You eat breakfast first, and then you play outside. Eating breakfast causes you to have the energy to play outside. This is the traditional view of causality. But in this new view of time as a space, you can think of these events as happening in different spaces on the paper. You might do something in one space and then something else in another space. You can move from one space to another, just like moving from one section of a playground to another. In the traditional view, events happen in a sequence, one after another. But in this new view, events are in different spaces, yet they can still be connected. So, you eat breakfast in one space, and this action allows you to play in another space. The sequence of events is still there, but it's just viewed in a different way. In the traditional view, one event causes another. For example, eating breakfast gives you the energy to play outside. In the new view, moving from the breakfast space to the playing space shows the influence. You still need breakfast before playing, just in a different space. The influence and relationships between events are still present, just viewed from a different perspective. In the traditional view, actions depend on what happened before. But in this new view, each space has its own context. What you do in each space can be different, but the spaces can still be connected. So playing outside is influenced by having eaten breakfast in a different space. The context and actions are still intertwined, just in a different way. Think of a big school playground divided into sections. In one section, kids are eating lunch. In another section, kids are playing soccer. These sections are like your time spaces. You move from the lunch section to the soccer section. Eating lunch in one section gives you the energy to play soccer in another section. Each section is different, but what you do in one can affect what happens in another. By viewing time as a space, you're just changing how you describe where things happen. Events still connect and influence each other, just like moving from one section of the playground to another. This new perspective helps to maintain the idea of cause and effect, even though you're thinking about it in a different way. So next time you're drawing on your time-space paper, remember that events can happen in different spaces, but they can still be connected and influence each other. Just like moving from one section of the playground to another, each action you take can have an impact on what happens next. Time is not just a linear progression of events, but a complex web of interconnected spaces where cause and effect still play a role.